You're watching Good Morning Kentucky with Lee Cruz, Haley Harmon, and your forecast with meteorologist Dylan Goday. ABC 36 on your side.
Welcome back. We're talking kids with Dr. Caitlin this morning with Lexington pediatrician Dr. Caitlin Iddings.
You said it like she's back again. Here we go. She shows up bright and early every Thursday. Good to see you, Dr. Caitlin, as always. Today, our topic is pertussis, more commonly known as
whooping.
You know, I always hear different people say it different ways, but the easiest way, just call it pertussis.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
This is highly contagious,
Yes.
and this is something we need to talk about. So how do you want to start this morning?
Yeah, so we received a release from the health department, I think on Monday or Tuesday, saying that cases of pertussis have been on the rise in Kentucky,
really?
including in Fayette County. There have been 18 cases reported since May, and those are really just the reported cases. And at least one of those required hospitalization. So it can be a very serious cough, especially in young children, and it's called whooping cough, right? Because basically they cough, cough, cough until they have no air left, and then they take this big, you know, gasping breath in. And so it's a very kind of textbook cough. If you like Google it and click on a soundbite, you'll listen to it and be like, oh, yes, that's impressive.
It's not your average cough.
Yeah.
You know when you hear
these
whooping
kids,
cough,
like I said, a lot of them will cough, cough, cough so much that they, you know, take that gasp and they can't gasp, and then it'll actually cause them to vomit. So like post-tussive emesis is very common for this particular bacteria.
Okay.
And so it is a bacteria, it's not a virus.
Yeah, it's a bacteria, and if you, it's kind of a different bacteria, so the typical antibiotics that we use for kids don't work on it. You need something like a Z-Pak, right? Which isn't something we commonly use in kids, but it is used to treat pertussis. And even treating it is just really supposed to kind of decrease the duration of symptoms. It will clear it and keep you from passing it to others, but we call it the 90-day cough, essentially, because the cough literally can last up to 10 weeks.
So this is a tough little bug.
Yeah.
You can't really kill it with antibiotics. You just kind of minimize the effects and let it run its course. Sounds like what you're describing.
Yeah.
So, and kids get it through just coughing on one another, it's just transported through.
Cough, cough, cough.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
so how can parents prevent it?
Yeah, and so there is a vaccine. There has been a vaccine for years.
Okay.
So we give the pertussis vaccine at 2, 4, 6 months, and then one between 1 to 2 years of age, and then again at 4 to 5 years of age, or before you go to kindergarten. And then years ago, they figured out, well, usually by the time you're kind of entering middle school, your immunity to it starts to kind of wane. So they give you that little booster dose right before you start middle school. And then they actually recommend now that pregnant women get it in their last trimester of pregnancy, between kind of 27 and 36 weeks is ideal, because mom will make those antibodies and then she'll pass them to the baby, and it kind of gives them protection for the first couple months of life before they can get the vaccine themselves.
Yeah.
And the fact that you said the health department says we've got 18 cases, is that the efficacy of the vaccine, or is it just people not getting it?
So they said that the majority of those were in unvaccinated patients.
Okay, so a vaccine could definitely help you here. Let's say someone gets it, though, or thinks their child has this. When should they seek help from a doctor?
So, like I said, it's not a subtle cough. Usually it gets worse and worse. And so if you get to where you're like, gosh, you know, at least 2 weeks of cough have been going on at this point. It seems like it's just getting worse. Definitely take them in, and it's something that clinicians need to kind of keep in the back of their mind that they need to be testing for. It is a reportable disease, which is why, you know, the health department kind of tracks it. So you definitely want to make sure you get them in. And then it's really important to kind of try to make sure you're treating household contacts too, because they can get it and then pass it to others, and then they can pass it to others. So, yeah.
Okay, and kids get it, and that's what we're talking about today, but can adults? Adults can get this as well.
Yeah, it's usually not as severe just because their airways are a little bit bigger than kids, but it definitely can be something an adult can get, and you can have that 90-day cough.
Goodness gracious.
So be on the lookout for that. Dr. Caitlin, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. All right, it is 6:54. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Kentucky. We are back in a moment.